At APP, we take recycling seriously and follow strict standards of quality. This is the story of how we make recycled paper. Our waste material, a combination of post-industrial and post-consumer waste, is purchased from many sources. Post-consumer waste comes from as far afield as Europe, the US, and Japan, as well as from right here in Indonesia. Post-industrial waste comes from a separate converting factory. There, it is compacted into tight bundles and taken to the warehouse. All waste paper is sorted to remove impurities before it's delivered to the processing unit. Here, the waste paper is pulverized in a wet process to remove plastics and other materials. After the pulp is formed, the fibers are cleaned and purified again to remove any remaining heavy particles like stones, sand, and staples. At the next stage of the cleaning process, the operation continues to purify the fibers and remove particles like wood chips and small pieces of plastic. The pulp then goes on to the next stage in the screening, where the process continues to purify the fibers and remove small particles using a finer screen. This eliminates smaller particles of materials like plastics and adhesives. The material is filtered twice more, and microscopic particles such as ink that are very light and smooth are extracted. The ink that's been released from the pulp floats away and is collected separately. Next, the water content of the fibers is reduced. The pulp continues to the kneading process to reduce the size of any remaining ink particles. The next stage is oxidation. Oxidation allows for maximum results when the pulp is bleached with hydrogen peroxide or H2O2. The pulp is squeezed dry a second time, then returns to the kneading machine one more time. To make sure all the ink is removed, the pulp is floated once again. At this stage, the cleaning machine washes away tiny smooth particles like sand and glue from the fibers. Water content in the fibers is reduced again at the end of this stage. The pulp is bleached again, this time by a reduction process using formamidine sulfuric acid, or FAS, before it's heated. During the extracting process, the fibers are washed thoroughly to remove any microscopic particles of chemical, dirt, and ink that may remain. Finally, the cleaned fibers are placed in storage tanks. Now the pulp is ready to be used in manufacturing new paper products in the paper-making machines. By using recycled paper, we make an important contribution to our environment. We reduce carbon emissions, water consumption, and air pollution. We cut electricity, oil, and heat energy consumption. And of course, we significantly reduce the amount of trash that ends up in landfills. As evidence that our recycling system is well managed and meets international standards, our plant has been accredited with a number of Environmental Code of Conduct certificates from PEFC and ISO, among others.